While it's recording, everybody just say thank you to Selina. Selina is our hero.
Selina.
I'ma trust the whole damn process for the record till we breaking records. Reminisce about the past days, now we rise and fly. Journeys to the sky, azimuth inside my grip, always know the way now. Beauty fill my days now, take it day by day. Sound couldn't be prouder, cause you know we alive. Hey.
Welcome to In Process. This is Azimuth Theatre's podcast highlighting and celebrating the voices, the community, and the creators that we get to work with. Today, we have a special guest, Chariz Faulmino. Yeah, welcome, Chariz. How are you?
Hi. I gotta say, I'm a little nervous.
Yeah?
I'm a little nervous.
You're going to be great. But yeah, thanks for joining me, Chariz.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you and I we've crossed paths a couple times, but the universe hasn't really ever allowed us to sit and chat, you know?
Here we are.
And here we are. If the universe doesn't make it happen, well,
we
no.
make it happen.
Chariz, how would you describe your craft?
Oh my goodness, my craft? Honestly, I don't even know how to... Even claiming that is something.
Yeah.
That saying that this thing I'm doing is my craft. It's mostly just me. It's coming from me, my experience, my story, and yeah. Totally.
Can you tell us a little bit of your story and how it led you to choose this way of living?
That's a big old question. Okay, well, I'll start with my name. I'm Chariz Faulmino. I use she, they pronouns. And I immigrated from the Philippines when I was 9 years old to Turtle Island in 2007. So it was quite a while ago. I came here with my family. My mom came here first as a nanny, and I've been here since. And what led me to that? I don't know. I think artists are expected to have like this revelation, but I don't think I ever really had that. Have you heard Adele's new song?
Go Easy on Me?
Easy on Me. Yeah. She says a line in there. She says, didn't get the time to choose what I chose to do. And that really resonates with me. I don't think I've ever named it like that. I think I forced myself for years to think of a moment of when it happened. But it was just, I don't know, art always lived around me, within me. My family is very musical. I mean, my culture, the stereotype, quote unquote, is that we love karaoke. And yes, we do love karaoke. And most Filipinos have it at parties. And that's what happened in my childhood. And you know, everybody always sang. And I always sang. And yeah, I started to do stuff on my own. My sister learned how to play the guitar, and I followed suit. I never thought I would actually do this for a career. Oh, saying it like that.
I love the giddiness that you're getting out of saying it out loud because it is such a blessing to be able to call this a career.
Absolutely. Very fortunate to be able to do this and live this life.
So where do you draw inspiration from when you're creating? Especially because like you write music, correct me if I'm wrong.
I do, in my living room, in my bedroom, in the shower. Yeah, where I draw it from is, again, just from my experience and my life and everything around me and everyone around me. Anything really, if it catches my eye, catches my ear, I think the world gives it to you, and that's how I roll.
I love this kind of idea that you're a very curious creature, and that curiosity leads you to art.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I'm so giddy. I've never talked about myself this much, and I'm getting paid to do it.
You're getting paid to do it. Well, and I think that's. I am so excited about this because I get to hear people talk about themselves. And I think that that's such
Scary.
a gift that you are giving us, you know? And I get that it can be totally scary. Why do you think I'm on this side of it?
Thank you for listening and for your curiosity too, for approaching me.
No, seriously. Like, honestly, it's such a joy, and it is a true gift to be able to sit and listen to somebody share their stories, you know? Like, I think it's in Denmark or Sweden, one of those two places. They have human libraries. Where you can go
I
rent.
think I heard about
Yeah. And you can rent out humans and you just ask them questions.
this. Rent out humans.
I mean, it sounds weird.
Can I get a Gilbert story, please?
But the idea of like just sitting and sharing, like there's can be so much gain just from hearing somebody speak about their lives.
Yeah.
You know? And like you and I met working a little bit on Safe and Fair. And I got to know a little bit of your story for those first couple of days about like you immigrating. You know, it was also like, where's the time gone?
Yo, that.
But immigrating as a child and all that, like we share a lot of the same similar vibrations and paths.
What about you? Where? Who are you, Andrés?
Listen, this episode's not about me.
No way.
No, you know, I'm Colombian born, proud of it. I moved here after moving to the States with my family.
Oh, wow.
Been living here, and art was an escape for me, you know? Art was a way for me to find home in a homeless world, you know?
Whoa. I
Yeah.
want that on a t-shirt.
We're gonna have a whole line of t-shirts after this, let me tell you. But you know, I'm always in awe because I think like I've made choices to continue art where I love that you hear something and you're like, this is something I want to explore, and you explore it, you know? And I knew about you as a singer I still haven't heard you sing. I mean, I'm not counting Concrete, you know?
Let's go karaoke after.
That's what this will be. It's just the karaoke episode.
Just a jam sesh.
But you know, like I always love to dig into what makes people tick or what makes people like inspired, you know? Because everyone's so different, and you know?
Yeah, and that's so awesome, and that's part of why I'm so curious is that everybody's got a story.
And no matter what we do, our stories will show up in our art. You know, like art is so much about self-expression and how you want to express some of the lessons that you've learned along the way, or some of the lessons you want to learn, you know?
You know that.
My favorite thing is when you get to like learn something from a character.
Yeah. Oh. Write a book. You've got great words. Great quotes.
I'm doing an audiobook here. Okay, so as a performer, where do you start your process of getting into a character?
In a play or in a musical?
Are they different to you?
They are sometimes. Yeah, they are different.
Okay.
I knew myself as a singer first, and my first musical I ever been in was Aladdin Jr.
Yes.
I was Jasmine, and that was awesome. But I don't think I really acted in that. I sang. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I got clocked for that in theater school. But anyway, I guess it's recently I've thought about characters as humans, and that's where my education came into play, because before, if it was a musical, I would just go straight into the songs and nail the songs, and the music tells a lot of the story. And how do I get into character? I think it just reveals itself, or maybe I'm not sure. Sorry, my brain.
It's totally good, and you don't necessarily have to have the answer. I think
Thank you.
Yeah. Art is something that we all do in our own ways.
Yeah.
You know?
Sometimes I can't put it into words. It just embody it in a way. Listen to the tracks and listen to what the music is telling me. If it's a musical, if it's a play, it's a different series. I have to attack a little bit more on the
Cerebral
side.
Totally. It's so interesting because you're right. I think with musicals, part of what I enjoy when I'm doing like my work is I'll listen to anything where the character's in it, and I try to hear that beat or the sound or what is underneath the words.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're right, that tells you so much about where the character's at in the point of the story.
Yeah, and growing up, I always sang like ballads, and ballads always have such emotion in them, and even in pop too, and that's where I started is Celine Dion, Whitney Houston, and now Adele, and those beautiful ballad singers and songs with such heart. Did I answer the question?
I think so. Speaking of ballad singers, do you have a favorite ballad?
Oh my gosh. Okay, it's always Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
It's always Whitney Houston. I have a soft spot for her, and oh, yeah. Anything Whitney.
No, but you gotta pick one song.
Oh my gosh! Oh. Okay. I Have Nothing by Whitney Houston.
Beautiful.
Yes.
All right, and now Chariz is gonna sing.
I have no. I'm just kidding.
Listen, people are here for it. Selina's over here like whooping, so we're here for it. So, what is something that's bringing you joy right now?
Right now, well, I haven't performed in so long, so right now it's doing rehearsals with all those lovely humans in the same space, singing, dancing, acting, just being creative in a space where people also want to be creative is bringing me so much joy. After so long of not doing it or just doing it in my living room, it's not the same.
It's not the same, and like, it's the rehearsal halls. There's something so special about a rehearsal hall.
The community, your friends, hearing how they are, where they are in life.
So, would you say the community is your favorite part of doing theater?
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. I love the many things people bring to the table and the feast we get to have with it.
Yeah. I love when you're working on a piece and someone's like, oh, yeah, I can do this. And then you put it in the show because it's like, okay, great.
Why not?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I love that. The spirit of playfulness that is within the hall. And getting to do whatever you want with the piece and letting yourself go that way.
Yeah. Weird question. If you weren't working as a theater professional, is there something else that you have that's like a passion for?
Oh, I recently realized that I will not ever do anything I don't love. I don't know. I used to have a pull to be in the medical field. I don't know if that's from my family or if that's myself wanting to be anything other than art, or artistic or creative. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Yeah, I love helping people and being, not saying a caregiver, but caring for others in a way that's more than your regular caring.
Yeah. Well, and I think over the summer, correct me if I'm wrong, you did a job with Tune to A.
Yeah, I was a project support worker. I was mainly a support to the group, and more specifically, Carly Nays. Yeah, her and I got really close because of that, because she's such an awesome human being. And we found that we shared similar experiences sometimes when it comes to family medical health. And yeah, it was great. Mostly I got to take care of Gilmore, beautiful service dog. I'm in love with
I named him Gulliver because I forgot that Gilmore was his name. His full name is Gilmore Gulliver Gunther.
That's hilarious. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. Yeah, that was a really interesting experience. That was the first time I think I got back in the rehearsal hall too. So it was a bit of a balance I had to shift in my regular performer brain.
Yeah. Totally. Now, do you have a favorite musical?
Ooh, do I have a favorite musical? Oh, I should, shouldn't I? Oh, I have so many. Okay, well, right now it is Hamilton.
Yeah. We're a house that loves Hamilton.
Yeah, it's a sung through opera, and I'm a singer, so it's a great. This is one of my dream shows, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so who would you want to play?
Oh,
I think I know, but
any of the women, honestly,
Yeah.
any of the women's part. Who'd you think?
I was gonna go straight to Eliza.
Ooh, Eliza.
Because I feel like you have that caring spirit. You know, like you
Oh,
could really
I
get an audience to
guess.
fall in love with you.
Oh, that's kind.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
can see that. Yeah. Now, a favorite musical you've performed in?
Oh. Ooh, I haven't really done that many. My line. What have I done? I did Aladdin Jr. I did Little Mermaid Jr. Little Mermaid. Red wig, red braces, man. Oh, that was a time. Skinny brows.
Skinny brows.
Oh, you know that time period. Don't even lie.
So deep into character.
Oh, I don't know if I have a favorite yet.
Hmm.
I don't know if I have a favorite yet. I loved all of them, and I learned certain things with each one for sure,
Hmm.
vocally and as a performer.
I also really enjoy that you no matter what you said, I don't have one yet.
Mm-hmm.
Which I love that outlook, because you're right. You still got so much time. You don't know what's coming your way.
I'm a child.
So, is there anything happening in your career that is exciting?
Well, I stepped away a bit,
Mhm.
and I got a job over at the Windspear.
Oh, great.
But for Yona Sistema, do you know Yona Sistema? It originated in Venezuela. And it was called El Sistema, and it's social music for change. The program, that's their vision. And we go to priority neighborhoods in Edmonton, and I am a site manager. So my site is at St. Catherine's School. That's one of our new sites.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's a really awesome program, and the people are great. And I never thought I could do like an administrative role. I never thought that was a thing I could do, but I surprised myself how well I actually was able to handle it and do it. So that's pretty exciting.
That's awesome.
Don't limit yourself.
No. And also, like, the idea that you want to do arts doesn't mean that you have to do art all the time. There's something so beautiful when you get behind the scenes and you do some of that admin work, and you let other people do the art, you know?
Yeah. That's what's new and exciting.
No, it's awesome. And like the idea that you're also learning about yourself through that's beautiful. That's awesome. I'm happy for you, pal.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah. I'm sure you can have stressful days working in admin. What do you do when you go home to like bring yourself balance or bring yourself joy?
Food.
Yeah?
Food.
Do you have a specific treat?
Okay, my favorite was one of the questions.
And now we're back on the guide.
This one I didn't really have to think about because my go-to is always bubble tea. I got memories attached to it, and it's delicious. Well, I mean, not everybody loves tapioca. It's all good, chewy bubbles. It's weird. I get it.
Also, we got other flavors.
That's right. Taro,
yeah.
lychee, mango
The popping
green.
bobas.
Oh, heck yeah. Mango pop bowls. Yeah, they're great.
So do you have a favorite bubble tea?
Okay. It is either avocado or mango green fruit tea with lychee jelly.
Oh, right. I haven't heard of the second one. Like, I've never had the second one. But the avocado bubble tea is prime.
Thank you.
Is prime.
It's either you hate it or you love it.
I like it a lot more when they add a little bit of coconut in there.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I have not tried that.
Oh, yeah. It's a good time.
Okay. Do you like bubble tea?
I love bubble tea.
Okay, bubble tea and karaoke?
Oh, is that a thing?
It can be.
Okay. Yeah, I'll join you for the bubble tea part. It's funny because usually I ask, what do you do for bring joy? And then I ask, what's your favorite treat? But you're right. Like, joy, food, it's all so interconnected.
Yeah, I love the communal aspect of food, which we can't have right now, but having a buffet with people, it gives you life.
Yeah.
To me, at least.
I think that we share that in the sense that, like, anytime there was a family gathering, everybody brought some sort of food element to it, you know?
And I think that's my mom's love language, which I never really understood for a while, but now I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your love language?
Oh, I think it's acts of service and words of affirmation, which I don't always have, but words of affirmation. And what's yours?
My love language is definitely gifts. Gifts.
Okay.
I will buy you something that like might be like a little chocolate bar with a little note on it, but like I will make that note break your heart and put it back together.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's got a lot of weight.
Like it might be like a Tuesday and I'll bring you a rose and then tell you how beautiful you are, and that's like
I'm crying.
You know?
I'm swooning. Selina.
The In Process podcast is brought to you by the Canada Council for the Arts and Azimuth Theatre's Traversing the Azimuth multimedia branch. It's our aim to continue to introduce and deepen the relationship between our community and the artists within it. If you would like to donate to the cause to keep this podcast going, you can go to www.azimuththeatre.com/donate to help the continuation of this podcast.
Do you get to go back home a lot?
Recently, yes, I did. I hadn't gone back for like 10 years before, 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, I'd like it to be more often, honestly.
Yeah. It's hard though, because it's I don't know if it's the same for you, but it's so expensive to go back home.
Oh my god, so expensive.
When you went back home, did you get to see any theater down there? Or is that something that
interesting.
Like, yeah.
No, I have not. The only theater I've seen there was when my sister played Virgin Mary.
That's so on brand.
Yeah. And I was like 6 years old. It's really interesting. I've only ever done art in English.
Yeah.
And speaking in my mother tongue, sometimes it takes a little bit more. Oh, okay, one of my favorite roles I've done is the one recently, sorry, my brain.
This is great, yeah.
Is Bianca Miranda's show that we just did over Zoom. We just did a reading online.
Yes, with Chromatic Theater.
With Chromatic Theater, and that was a really awesome character that I got to play for a little bit. Yeah, I can't wait till it goes on stage. I want to see it, or I guess be in it. One can hope. Yeah, and I guess tying it back to what we were talking about, I never explored the Philippines creatively. Never explored my language creatively. I mean, I write songs in Tagalog, but it feels weird doing it in a Western setting.
Totally.
It takes a little bit more effort, I think.
So do you like to consume a lot of your stories in English?
Both.
Totally. I like I know, for example, like I love from back home, like telenovelas.
Oy.
You know,
Yo.
big industry. Like
Yeah.
I don't think that I've seen a lot of theater in Colombia, but the amount of stories that come out of just telenovelas,
Oh.
like I don't want to watch an English soap opera. Like for me, it's gotta be in Spanish. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have telenovelas as well?
We do. I mean, we're greatly influenced by Spanish culture, and yeah, telenovelas, soap operas. There, all my aunts and my grandma, and even my mom and my sisters love watching them.
Back home, it feels like a ritual where it's like, oh, the novela is starting, and then like you just sit with your family for 3 hours and just consume, you know?
Yeah. Or you walk into the living room, they're watching it, and you don't expect to stay there for that long, and you're three
You're hooked.
episodes in.
I don't care how bad the novela is. It will grab you,
Yeah.
and you'll be like, "Wow, okay, so
Yeah.
they're whose sister? Who's trying to kill whose parents? Okay, great, I'm in."
Oh,
Oh my gosh. Now I'm sure you've probably felt this too, but there's been kind of a shift in the theater industry and just in a lot of industries and in just the worldview in general over the last 2 years. Mostly due to, everyone having a lot of time to think about what they want to do and then encouraged by other world events that have happened. But is there anything you'd like to see kind of develop in our industry?
I mean, it's moving in the direction of seeing and hearing more stories of the community. So I guess more Filipino things. And maybe not so much in the industry, but in our community, I would love to see locally, I would love to see big city things like an underground comedy bar or things like that, like more venues, I guess, and more spaces to do art and be creative more publicly.
Yeah.
And more accessible spaces, I guess, for
Totally.
artists here.
Yeah. I think back to like Found Fest, and I think if we had like more ideas of Found Fest like all year long, where it's like, where do you want to perform? We'll figure it out,
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you ever think that you would write something?
Right? So like write a play, musical?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I guess this is one of the questions. It's in the works. I think I'm writing a musical. Oh my gosh, it's the first time
you
I've
put it
said
into the
it. I know.
universe.
I'm putting it out there. I'm writing a musical.
Yeah.
And it's just the Filipino experience, and maybe not the Filipino experience, but at least I'm drawing from my experience, of course, and close friends. And yeah, it's really daunting and really scary. So it is an ongoing process, and it's a long time. It takes a long time, I think.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, and it's also, I find the creation process is really, if you need to give it time, because if you try to rush something because you need a product, like you're not really doing what the creation process needs.
Yo, that.
Right?
That.
Yeah, yo.
Yeah, I don't know how people just whip out a script in a day. I don't understand. And it's something that's like really meaningful to me. So I also want to do it some justice. So
Yeah. But I think that therein lies the difference, right? Like, I think if someone was like, you need to write me a script about this happening, these characters go, it's a little bit easier to at least pull out a draft, But when you're trying to work from within and also trying to have some form of therapy and safety in there, like, you need to give yourself time.
Yo! Put these on a t-shirt. I'm waiting for your merch, ma'am.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be fire, let me tell you. But no, like, seriously, especially writing and creation, I see as such a form of therapy. Like, we do it because it brings us joy. It brings us community. Like, I know for me, like, it was the first place that I had like a home after not having a home, like a rehearsal space felt like a family.
Aww.
That. Thanks. Yeah, and
Oh.
that's what all I want to do is just bring my friends along and be like, let's create some rad art. Now, this is a question that I like to steal from a great TV show.
Okay.
I'm pulling out the little Chariz picture.
Oh,
If there was something you could tell your younger self, or something that you could tell to a younger artist,
Oh,
what's something that you would impart?
insert tears. Oh, I could say so many things, but enjoy each moment. Love your family. Give yourself grace. Forgive yourself often. Forgive others often. Ooh.
Oh, my pal, I'm so sorry.
Thank you for asking that question. How dare you? dare you?
It was on the guide, I promise.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, give yourself grace. Give others grace. And yeah, be present and love those around you.
Yeah. Thank you. Ah, pal. The amount of heart that you've shown me today is just so lovely. So, okay, you're connected to music, you're connected to acting. Are you connected to dancing or movement?
Yes. Maybe not technically, but
I don't think, I don't know. There's something about movement where, yes, obviously there's technicalities to each movement. But I also find that movement is just like it's a language on its own. And as long as you just dabble in it, you can't do it wrong, you know?
Yeah. I always find it funny whenever folks are like, "Oh, I can't dance." I'm like, "Yeah, sure you can. Sure you can. Just pretend no one's watching you. Listen and let your body do its thing." I think everyone has that superpower
Yeah.
in themselves.
You know, it's like saying, like, I genuinely believe anyone can sing.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not, you know, it's technical and all that stuff, whatever. That's all systems we have human is built. But, like, can you sing? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I don't know, there's something about some of the musicals that I listen to where it's like, the person might not be the most technically talented singer. But if they can express themselves and use their voice to do that, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
You got me. You know?
You sound like my prof.
I'm not that old, okay? So I know that you said you've never really decided it and you've just kind of always followed this path that led you to theater and stuff. But at a certain point, you had to ask yourself, I'm assuming you had to ask yourself, do I actually want to do this? Why do you think that you did it?
Why do I think I did it? Well, I love it, first of all. And my family always told me to share my gifts. And if this is my gift, then share I will.
Yeah. Beautiful. Do you think you'd ever want to go into music? Or, like, do you like where music and theater meet?
Yeah, I would dabble into some music. I guess that's where music and musical theater kind of differ is there's more freedom in music, whereas in musical theater you're kind of bound to a character or story, and pop or just the music in general, it's you get to play more.
Totally. Do you think that, like, because you're writing a musical, do you think that's something you want to explore? Like, what happens if the music is freer in a musical?
Yeah. Oh, that's an interesting question. Yeah. I would love to explore that some more, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And if you had a collaborator that you could just be like, let's do it, who would you do it with?
Cody Rowland.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, he and I kind of talked about it, but yes, Cody.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's amazing. He's an awesome human being.
As you're working on admin, and especially with a program like El Sistema, which is such a beautiful program, bringing music to kids who might not have had the access to it. Like, do you see yourself wanting to go down that path and creating a program like that, maybe back home, or offering kids the chance to tutor them in singing, or, you know, things like that? Or do you think that that's something that, like, that drives you, or are you driven more by, like, building community and that kind of stuff?
I think I'm more into building the community. I would love to do that in the Philippines. I don't know the network there. I don't know how theater runs there. So maybe that's a great question. Maybe I should start looking into that.
Oh.
And yeah, that's always kind of gone through my head. I'm like, oh, what would I be if I didn't come to Canada and didn't start doing everything that I'm doing now? Who would I be? Who would Chariz be? Short answer is probably a nurse.
Yeah.
Like many of my cousins.
I just want to hit on something that you just said, because I've always found it so interesting that as immigrant children, we grow up with this thing that's like there's a version of ourselves that stayed home. And I don't know what that does to our upbringing, but it's something that I find is a shared reality with so many of people who have immigrated as children, you know?
Totally, totally.
And I don't know, I just I always find it super interesting to talk to other immigrant children because it's a big thing that you go through as a child.
Yeah, and you don't even know what you know until you start reflecting years later, or when you're an adult, and what that experience was for you as a little human.
I remember listening to In the Heights. Nina
Oh.
has this, I know, right?
Woo!
I know. But Nina has this line where she's like, I would stare at the sea and thinking, where am I supposed to be? And I don't think people who don't immigrate ever think about that, you know? Like, am I supposed to be here? Well, you were born here, so that's kind of where you're supposed to be, I guess. But as somebody who left where, quote unquote, you're supposed to be and created a space where now this is where I'm supposed to be, it's just the duality of living that. And especially when you go home.
Oh, it's such an interesting
Yeah.
experience because you're almost a stranger in a way to yourself and kind of those around you. Or you kind of have to put something away in either spaces,
Exactly.
here and there.
Like, do you speak Tagalog at home
Yes, I do,
with your family?
with my family.
Yeah. And do you find that within itself creates a bit of a duality?
Yeah. There's always, I mean, there's many sides to everybody, but that's always something that, like I was saying, like doing and creating in Tagalog is so different from me creating in English and talking about art in English.
I definitely echo that. Like, I think that I find myself much more eloquent in English, and it's something that I've wanted to change because I also want to feel like I can express myself like this in Spanish, but it's hard.
Give me some.
Oh my God, it's so hard. No, I mean, like, you have to remember, I left Colombia with grade 3 Spanish, right? And
Yeah.
like, you know, you grow up and you pick up words here and there, but at the end of the day, like, I don't know any slang words. I'm not cool in Colombia.
No, me too. I'm like, oh, this is not what the kids say these days.
And I always
So
go
many
back
things.
there and I'll listen, and if someone's like really using a slang word or something, I'm like, all right, okay, cool. I can be cool too. Yeah, what's up? You know?
Yeah. The kids are cooler than me. Oh, there.
I think they'll always be cooler. That's just the thing. Kids will always be cooler than who they came before. Oh my gosh. That's
Yeah.
why I'm really excited, just to bring this all back to theater, because, you know, I love theater. But I'm really excited with kind of this new fresh blood that's being brought into a lot of theater. Like, we're bringing in new air, new perspectives, and perspectives that may not have been as constrained in their upbringing, you know? As a queer person, like, just even seeing the queer kids who are coming in nowadays, they're so much more freer. When I apply that to theater, it just makes me excited to see, like, what people are going to create. I don't know, it just makes me excited, and
Me too. They've always been around. It's just now finally getting some light.
so many cool, groovy things are happening because of it. It just makes me excited, you know?
Yeah, like this podcast. What? This is great.
One last question to close us off. If you could reflect on one of the lessons you've learned through theater and articulate it in a way where you can impart that lesson to someone else, what do you think is your favorite thing you've learned in a rehearsal hall?
It's, I think, cliche and overdone, but take risks and know that what's coming from you is the best. Just do you, take risks, and believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. I think it's cliche and oversaid, but it can't be said enough. It's something I always have to remind myself.
Believing in yourself sounds easier than it is, and it's a daily practice, you know?
And this theater in general, there's so much competition, and so much of that vibe when you go to an audition, you in a rehearsal hall, and there's expectations, but know that what you do that day is, if it's the best you can do that day, it is what it is, and just stick to your guns and believe in yourself. I'm saying it again.
And in the famous words of Dory, just keep swimming.
Just keep swimming.
On that note, thank you so much, pal. Like, this has been such a pleasure and such a gift to be able to just share space, share time, and share moments with you. I'm really excited to see where your musical goes. It's out in the ether now. Listen, it's out. The world is listening. But I genuinely very excited to see that and to see where you continue to go.
And you, my friend.
Thank you so much, pal. Thank you all for listening. Thank you to Selina for putting up with this episode.
Yeah.
Selina, you are the unsung hero of
Yes.
this podcast. Hey, pal.
Enjoying the conversation?
Traversing the Azimuth is a brand new branch of Azimuth Theatre, aimed at connecting artists with a wider community, deepening mutual understanding, and getting to share each artist's process and journey.
If you would like to continue hearing these amazing stories, you can help out by going to azimuththeatre.com/sponsorship and sponsor Traversing the Azimuth. Your sponsorship will go straight into paying more artists to come and share what it means for them to be proudly in process.
We would also like to take this moment to thank the Canada Council for the Arts for their support in the pilot of this project.
For more information on Traversing the Azimuth, go to azimuththeatre.com/traversing.